Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We'll start in a minute or two. We are waiting the CEO. His GPS said that he's 2 minutes away. So, oh, he's here now. Okay, so as soon as he gets in, we'll start.
Something good. Something good, girl.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for your patience. Chairman, I'd like to establish protocol. Thaddeus Antoine, Chairman of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority and the Jazz and Arts Festival. Ms. Dahlia Gad, CEO of the Community Tourism Agency. Mr. Louis, CEO of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. Ms. Ramona, CEO of the Cultural Development Foundation. Communities present, the concept and to receive the checks. CEO and Chairman, I'd like to establish these protocols. I'd like to call on Roger to lead us in a short prayer.
Let's all stand to pray. Let's all get into the mood for prayer. Father, we thank you for such a wonderful day. We thank you for such beautiful weather. We ask that you please be with us as we go throughout these proceedings of this activity and allow everything to go according to your will. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Roger. I'd like to also recognize my corporate partner, Wasco, Community Jazz Partners, special invited guests. I am Rondell Shari, the Public Relations Officer of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to establish protocol. It is truly a pleasure to welcome you all to this special occasion as we celebrate the spirit of partnership and community through the power of music, the arts and culture. Today, we are here to recognize the generous contributions of 10 host communities and the jazz sampler, and we trust that the St. Lucia Tourism Authority contribution will make it possible for these events to thrive, bringing people together and enriching our cultural landscape. Jazz has been a universal language that connects us beyond boundaries. And through this initiative, we continue to showcase the talent, creativity, and vibrancy that define our community. As we officially mark this moment, let us take a moment to appreciate the collective effort that goes into making community jazz a success. Thank you for being here, and thank you for believing in the power of music and the arts to inspire and uplift. We are live on GVD TV, channel 115, and on YouTube. Please turn your attention to the screen as we recap last week's sponsorship presentation of the music and the arts.
We've created a culinary village. It's going to be separate, where one could go about, and within that village, you could not only just get food, but you get trinkets, you get some apparel from St. Lucia with the festival.
The importance of the community festivals for economic empowerment in the communities, because as the community festivals grow, the festival itself grows. Through the Jazz Festival, we are presenting options that are not available anywhere else on the planet.
Your contributions make all of this possible. You are not merely supporting a festival, you are driving a movement of cultural preservation, artistic innovation, and community enrichment.
By serving as a presenting partner,
We proudly reinforce our role as a cultural ally and community champion.
Join me in welcoming to the podium Mr. Thaddeus Antoine, Chairman of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority and the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival.
Big Cheque 2000 tout le temps. Ou pas qu'à faire ça.
Good morning to all. I trust you all didn't hear me for the first time, so good morning to all. And welcome to Vieux-Fort. I call it my land. I was born and bred in from Vieux-Fort, so I'm happy to be here this morning. See Mr. Saltibus looking at me. I'm very delighted to be here this morning, ready for the Cheque presentation for our Community Jazz Festival. Last week we did on a national level with the Jazz Festival, and this week we're here, Community Festival. And we chose Vieux-Fort to do the Cheque presentation simply because it's very important to us in growing the community jazz events that we have the communities participating in the jazz events. I've said it before, we at the St. Lucia Tourism Authority with the Jazz Festival, along with Events St. Lucia, the Cultural Development Foundation, the Community Tourism Agency, and indeed the government of St. Lucia through the Ministry of Tourism. And we don't do the festival for, say, having a festival, having a bon temps. We do the festival as part of our marketing strategy, how we market St. Lucia. And what is key to us in marketing St. Lucia is creating visibility and awareness of St. Lucia. So we use it's part of our marketing budget, just like we do digital advertising, we do placements in advertising in newspapers, magazines, and we do interviews. So it's just one of the ways we advertise St. Lucia. But it aligns well with the government's policy of taking or empowering communities. When we go about the place, it's important that in growing the festival that we look to the communities. So the communities, they are budding artists and artisans from the community. Or we don't get to know them. But when the events take place in the communities, it affords the communities, and we encourage communities to do so, it affords the communities to come up and say, look, this is John, this is Jack, this is Jill, who's from Vieux-Fort, who's from Soisel, who's from Soufre, who has some great talent and who could sing. We would not know them. And I could give you an example. Sly the artist. I knew Sly the artist as a soca performer, a calypsonian. But 2 years ago, there was jazz in Vieux-Fort, the Vieux-Fort Jazz, which took place at the Vieux-Fort Comprehensive School. And Sly was there for band, doing jazz and singing and different range of vocals. I'm like, wow, okay, this man could really sing. It's just not soca, he could sing. And that is how I realized that Sly could sing, and today, Sly's on main stage because we know his vocal prowess. Not because just his soca, but because we know he could sing all different music. Now, somebody told me, had I been going to hotels, entertainment, I would have known that Sly sings. But I said, well, I don't patronize hotels, going to go entertainment at hotels, so I would not know that. But some people knew that. But it got myself, as being part of the committee, to recognize that there are other singers out there. But the communities help us with budding artists. And it's very vital for us that the communities, in putting together their roster or their lineup for the communities, that they engage lots of local artists, or what I call community artists, as you give them the exposure and you give them the experience to make their way onto main stage. Because you have to be the budding ground or the building ground for moving artists from communities into the main stage area. Also, what it does for the communities as well, it creates some great economic activity, which is aligned with the government's policy of getting every community involved in activities throughout with different festivals. Only last year, we had a gentleman, an artist named by Ali Katz, and there was the youth festival held in Vieux-Fort, which held annually in Vieux-Fort during, I think, December time. And we supported the youth festival in getting the artists involved. And this year, Ali Katz now is on opening of jazz. Again, exposing artists. So we get to expose them, economic activity through the vendors, through the patrons. You find your hairdressers, your makeup artists are all involved, including your suppliers, your retailers who sell the food, who sell drinks, are all involved. So it's very important to us that when we talk about jazz, it's not just for main stage and being held in the north, and people are quick to say everything has been held in the north, but it's creating, as we call, a festival. In 2014, when we renamed it into the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, it was that very idea to move it all around the island and not just have it in one location. So I continue to say it has to be a budding ground for growth and development of our artists, our artisans, and for communities to be empowered. So once again, I want to thank you very much for coming out today, and please continue to encourage you to be part of the growth and development of the Jazz and Arts Festival.
Thank you, Chairman. The Community Tourism Agency plays a pivotal role in the development of our communities, helping to develop friendly, sustainable practices. It is a no-brainer that they are involved in today's event, as their mission aligns perfectly with fostering economic growth, cultural preservation, and environmental sustainability. Please welcome to the podium Ms. Dahlia Gad, the CEO of the Community Tourism Agency.
Good morning, everybody. Allow me to adopt the protocol that has already been established. So, good morning. First of all, I want to say welcome to the beautiful community of Vieux Fort. SLTA, you got the assignment correct. You got it pretty much correct. So we're setting the tone for decentralizing and coming to the community. So I'm very happy that we are actually in Vieux Fort. The CTA is excited to collaborate with the SLTA, CDF, and events company to see the successful execution and implementation of events like yours. I think at this time, I would want to, for those of you who do not know us, the Community Tourism Agency, I think it's a good opportunity to just give you a little history or background. The agency, which is the Community Tourism Agency, is established by the government to bring tourism into all of our communities. And so, having said that, what better way to bring tourism into the communities by that of all of your hosts, all of the communities hosting their jazz events in the various communities. When we talk about persons coming into the communities, we're talking about regional and international tourists, and we're also talking about domestic tourists. You would be very amazed to find out that there are some people who are in Castries who do not move to Choiseul. They don't try to figure out what's in Labrie. They don't know what's in Babono. So we are also encouraging domestic tourism. So it's an opportunity for us to have persons, regional, international, and also St. Lucians to move around into the various communities, the opportunity. Community tourism has a basic concept. We want people to see, do, and stay in the communities. So you come to the communities, you see, you do something, and by extension, you probably will stay. In this occasion, we want people to come to do something. We want them to patronize and come to your locally organized jazz events. Each community has its unique characteristics. There's something special in doing community tourism. I've come to realize that there's something special about every community. And so at this point in time, I want to encourage organizers of the various jazz events to not only have community jazz in the sense or the word of community jazz, but to take an opportunity to really look at your communities and see what are the unique propositions and what are the unique characteristics that all of you have. And so for you to infuse that into your product, that is whatever you call. So Ansler Ray's jazz, I expect to see a little fish vibe in there. Miku Point Vierge, your jazz needs to have. We need to have things like CMOS drinks. Babono, what are we doing up there? We getting some wild things to eat. What's going on? So in terms of coming up with your product that is community jazz, let us make a conscious effort for us to factor in those unique propositions in all of our communities. At the end of the day, every community is unique, every community is different, and when we patronize those events in all of the communities, we want to feel the difference between the communities. Okay, organizers, we promise? Yes. Yeah? Okay, good. Another thing that I'd like to propose as well is we're not only doing come to the communities and see jazz. As we move on futuristically, we want persons to stay a little longer. So where do you stay? What are the other things you can do? Miku, I keep pinpointing on you. You have all of those Airbnbs in Escap. How are we getting persons to come? And they can come from the day before, do a little Airbnb, stay at Escap, right? They can stay, do the event. They can check out Alvin, who has the ATV tours, and make it a whole community vibe. These are futuristically, when we're thinking of our events, things that we can incorporate and things we can think of. So it's not just a matter of we have community jazz, but I really want to put your minds in the place where you start thinking of how we can, encompass all of these things to make it real community jazz. I came, I stayed, I did the event, I did this tour, I did that tour, and then I left. So that's what we're looking at. In terms of the promotion of community jazz, back in the day, back when I was very much younger, just messing. Back in the day when I was the events manager for jazz, the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, I was very privileged to head it at what point in time. I know when we went out to speak regionally and internationally, one of the things that stood out for the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival was the fact that you could have patronized or you could have visited and experienced every aspect of the 238 square miles. And that was a big conversation piece for us. So there are some people that will come like way in advance and they get to, experience Denry and all of the parts of the island. So in terms of the promotion, the enhancement, and having persons come to the destination, the communities play a very important role, a vital role in that aspect of things. So to our 10 host communities, be sure that you're placed in that community, in that St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. We need you, right? We need you. You're part of the festival, and it allows us to go out and have a better and broader conversation piece. I want to say thank you at this point in time to the sponsors who have come on board, right, to help finance or at least to help support those 10 host communities. Thank you very much. We know that in terms of events, we can talk about music and all of these things, but if we don't have the financial support to make things happen, then we're just spinning around. So to the sponsors who have already been confirmed and who are the sponsors who have jumped on board, especially in the support of community jazz, I want to say thank you, a big thank you to you. I want to pledge at this point in time from the CTA's perspective that we stand ready to support in any way that we can to ensure that these events are implemented successfully, these events are implemented to meet standards, these events are promoted very well. So the CTA is here to support in that regard, and we look forward to helping each and every community implement a successful jazz. So congratulations to all of you who secured a space in executing a community jazz event, and we are here to help and serve you, each and every one of you. So have fun. There are going to be some rough nights and long nights, but that's all in keeping with executing events. There are hurdles, you just jump over that. So have fun, and the CTA is here to support. Thank you.
Yeah. Life. Celebrate life. One more year for them. One more year for them. One more year.
So Fred looking like main stage now.
Looking, we are, and it is my humble privilege to announce the opening of Suffragaz 2024, the experience. Enjoy it.
One to them, let go me with him. One to them, let go me with him. One to them, let go me with him. Sing the answer.
Good night, Suffragaz.
St. Lucia, how you feeling? Listen. How we do it?
Let you know, my friend, there was a misunderstanding. St. Lucia, everybody jump. I promise that today I'm gonna jump. But I'm gonna jump way like I never will. One like I never went before. Just to show you what's come home to me, come home to me. Make some noise for Maria Blackmore.
St. Lucia! Cyrus Wiley live on the black side, man, in the building, you know the vibes already. Huh. Hey! Well, it was nice to know, yeah, let's do it again. Did it? Well, ever since we met, baby, no need for running around. Girl, you cool me. What you do? You cool me. This is the part of the show where you give it all you got. Jump, 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 jump. Come on. Mama, little princess, God. Jump. How is it created? Mama, little princess. And then that's where I did it up. Walking up, that's another good day. What it was a good day.
Thank you, Suffragaz. We all will be supporting each and every one of the jazz, community jazz around the island this year. The Community Tourism Agency is helping to set the tone for the markets, and to tell us how the St. Lucia Tourism Authority is marketing the community and cultural component of the festival is Mr. Louis Lewis, the CEO of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority.
Yeah. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited to be here today, for it's really the signaling of what I think is the third evolution of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. And let me explain what I mean. When the festival was first conceptualized and instituted, the whole idea was to create an event, as the chairman said, that would bring visitors to St. Lucia. Then we went through the second evolution, which was to provide the arts, because we recognized that we had this signature event that was shining a light on St. Lucia that had actually become part of the brand recognition of the island. And we incorporated the arts. And what we did by doing that was to give the arts in St. Lucia not only a distinction, but to actually give it an international, stage, an international audience. And today we are here now for what I think is the third evolution, which is to signal that we've actually change by bringing in the communities, and we signal it by the launch that we have here today. And if you take it through the stages, the first one was to bring in visitors, and that added to the volume of arrivals. The second one, we showcased the arts and we gave it more resonance and some level of sustainability. But this time, we are now broadening it so that the benefits of tourism can fuse out to the rest of the communities. Now, this is not any slight adjustment. This is a significant move, because what it starts to do now is that it shines a light on the various communities. And I remember having, and I hope Mr. Maxwell forgives me for that, I remember us having some debates when I think he was talking about either Leicester jazz or Quas jazz, one of those two things we were talking about, towards the end, and I tried to tell him, no, man, this thing should be placed within the festival. And he said, no, we're doing it after. I never won. But today, I'm proud to say that we are launching what he had envisaged as a community event. We are having a formal launch for that event, and it's here in no other place than where the debate was surrounded, which is actually Viewfort. So this time I won. But this is so important for us because tourism is our lifeblood, and it cannot be centralized or locked into one place. It has to be something that showcases the character of St. Lucia. And I will repeat that there is no other festival that has this sort of model. So our success really adds to the success of St. Lucia as a tourism destination. And I'm just so encouraged by the fact that the communities have embraced it. But like the chairman said, this is not just an event that we are having. It's also signaling to the direction in which we are going. So I'm encouraging the communities to pay particular attention to sustainability. Try as much as possible to avoid plastics and bottles and those sort of things. And we have enough material in St. Lucia that we can use and recycle. It's an opportunity for branding the community. And like the CEO of the CTA said, if you brand your community wares, then it becomes a collector's item. It can be used and reused, and there's no better time to do it. There'll always be a market for your first use. So this is the best year. We are also signaling to the rest of the world that we are moving into regenerative tourism. So think of those things in terms of your planning and how you showcase it. Don't be shy to bring in the arts as well. And very importantly, for us, we want to ensure that it is not just an event for those who can participate like ordinary. Think and try to incorporate the persons who are differently abled in some of your offerings so that they too can participate just as all of us have done. So this has to be an all-encompassing statement about where we are going with regard to tourism. It's a community event, it's the arts, it's a celebration, it's also an opportunity to remind our patrons that we are actually moving in the direction of sustainability. And that is not just something that we are doing here, it is threaded even through the legislation. Through the government, we have there are additional incentives that are given to communities and projects and enterprises that go sustainable. So it's a clear intent from the government policy right through to the implementation from the agencies as well as our partners like yourselves who are participating in this event. So with that in mind, I'd just like to thank you for being the 10 communities that are coming with us. And we also have to make mention of the Jazz Sampler. They are not a community, but it presents a unique blend and brand within the festival. They are on board as well. And we are just hoping for this year to be one of the most exciting festivals that we have hosted in St. Lucia, the 33rd edition of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CEO. And one thing I'd like to make mention is you realize that we have a pink logo, pink and black. However, you see some green around. This year, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority is highlighting that this year is our year of sustainability. And therefore, at the Jazz and Arts Festival, you'll see a lot more green, more sustainable Jazz and Arts Festival this year. So we ask that the community jazz and arts, the community jazz, you also apply some sustainable component to your festival this year. So without further ado, we'd like to welcome violinist Michael Fletcher to do a piece for us, please.
That was so beautifully done, and it's one of my favorite songs. I remember sitting in meetings with a bunch of eager community hosts. The discussions were very interesting. We learned of their successes, we learned of their challenges, and today the St. Lucia Tourism Authority is here to help remedy some of those challenges. Of course, we're here to present you with a sponsorship check that will just be a sample of our support, because of course we will be there to lend the support that you need outside of the financial. To get started with our communities, we're going to call on Moshi Musique en Creole. And he'll tell us a little bit about the event and of course be presented with that sponsorship check.
Good day, everyone. I'd like to adopt the protocol that's already been established. My name is Axel Philip, and I am one of the organizers for Moshi Musica Creole. This year, we will be hosting Moshi Musica Creole with a different flair. Predominantly, we used to have a more cultural and Creole theme for our event. This year, our theme would be Moshi Musica Creole pour toute qualité musique. Basically saying Moshi Musica Creole for all types of genres. So we would have a plethora of genres this year, ranging from gospel, our own local music. We also have R&B. We will be hosting some country also, and a lot more. Our artists that will be coming, again, will be local artists, basically from the island, across from the south all the way to the north. And they will be coming on board with us so that we'll be able to give a great event this year for Moshi Musica Creole. Most of our features this year, again, it is an all-inclusive event which is free. An event that is free for everyone to come and go ahead and patronize our local vendors, which basically Moshi Musica Creole was developed to build economic growth in the community. So our vendors and local persons can come in and, sell their foods and, drinks and stuff. So this year we will be keeping our all-inclusive features. For one example, would be our disability stage, where we'll be hosting persons. We'll need persons to go ahead and give us a call for anybody that is differently able who wants to come to the show. They give us a call. We did last year. We had a platform built up for them, so we will be hosting them also. They would not have to think about thank you. They won't have to think about parking arrangements. Those can also be arranged for them so that we can accommodate those persons. As I said, Moshi Musica Creole pour toute qualité musique will be a great extravaganza this year. Come support. Thank you. And a big thank you to St. Lucia Tourism Authority for the huge sponsor this year. Thank you.
So we're going to invite the chair, CEO, Mrs. Wynne, as well as Ms. God to stand with him as he receives his check. lovely. It's one of the communities that I like to escape to. Now I'm from Moshi, so you know I have a little bias when it comes to Moshi jazz, but I have to be very neutral today. So I'm supporting all community events, right, lovely? So we'll be going to Rainforest Jazz at Babuno next. So from Moshi, we go to Babuno, right?
Good morning, everybody. Adopting the protocol that has been established, I am Anya Alexander representing Rainforest Jazz at Babuno. It's our second year. We skipped a year, and we're back this year hoping to bring a very exciting twist to our jazz event. The hope is to be able to incorporate food, music, culture that is rich to Babuno into the event. We're hoping that we can showcase most of what is indigenous to Babuno and make it something that is very exciting. And obviously you'll be coming to the Mystic Mountain, and we hope that that's usually a very exciting ambience. Thank you very much.
Let's make sure forestry approves of that, huh? From Babuno, we're going over to Bexon with Hills and Valleys Inspirational Jazz. Of course, we have to infuse the gospel into everything that we do.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, say money gonna find me, blessings gonna find me, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Round and round, these seasons I've been facing, but this year.
Good morning, everybody. Permission to adopt the protocol already established. My name is Tanika Edwin. I'm a marketing officer for Hills and Valleys Inspirational Jazz, commonly known as Bexo Jazz. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine an evening where the earth thrums with pulsating rhythm, soulful melodies, and the electric energy of a community united by music. On May 1st, 2025, the Bexo playing field nestled in the lush embrace of Castri's Southeast's vibrant heart will once again transform into a dazzling stage for the second annual Hills and Valleys Inspirational Jazz. Following last year's sensational debut, where crowd surge and headliner Emran Henry left audiences spellbound, we're back to ignite the night with even more magic, more passion, and more unforgettable memories. This year, under the patronage of Honorable Joachim Henry, we are curating a cultural symphony like no other. Picture a constellation of St. Lucian stars lighting up the stage. The soul-stirring vocals of Melana Stephen, the raw talent of Tabitha Prosper, the infectious energy of Jonathan, and the virtuoso brilliance of Scheffler Maxwell, an 8-time Caribbean Music Award nominee, and other local artists. And soaring above it all, we have a global sensation whose legendary beats will send waves of inspiration cascading across the crowd. This sensation will be announced tomorrow at our media launch in Otsa. But this isn't just a concert, it's a movement. St. Lucia Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, and our island's finest vendors and businesses ensure every note, every flavor, every moment is crafted to perfection. And here's the crescendo. It's all free. Yes, you'll savor world-class performance, bask in flawless production, and lose yourself in a sea of joy without spending a single coin. As twilight blankets the Caribbean sky, Bexar Plainfield with St. Lucian pride, a place where culture and community collide, where music isn't just heard but felt. This is Hills and Valleys Inspirational Jazz, one of the island's best free jazz extravaganza during our illustrious jazz season, and a beacon of artistry that shines brighter than anywhere else on earth. So mark your calendars, gather your loved ones, let's paint the night with the rhythm, unity, and boundless inspiration. Because on May 1st, under the stars, we're not just hosting an event, we're creating history. Don't just hear about it, live it. Free, unforgettable, uniquely St. Lucian. Thank you.
So we can see without any coins. Bring the coins to the vendors and all the different activities, the kids' activities that are taking place at Hills and Valley Jazz. It's on Hills and Valley.
Thank you, Bexon. If you were not about to get out, I'm sure you're going to get out now. I'm going to call on Mr. Marlon Leos, representing Jazz of Viege, Miku.
You raise the mic a bit. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Like the name suggests, Jazz of Viege, the envy of community jazz. My name is Marlon Leas, and I'm from the beautiful community of Miku, Wise Men from the East. This is our first, this is our first event, first jazz event for us, and it promises to be a very exciting experience. So you've been to Main Stage Jazz, you've experienced Pigeon Island, now it's time to enjoy Point Viege. And this is the longest peninsula in St. Lucia. So jazz and your backdrop will be the Atlantic Ocean. Not the Caribbean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean. So come and enjoy everything that the East has to offer. Headliner, Sanchez. Good job. It's going to be a great event at Miku Jazz Point Viege. The envy of community carnival, Jazz of Viege.
That was no mistake. Just let you know that he's looking for funny for jazz as well. carnival as well. What's happening there?
Thank you, Mr. Leos. Exio Pavlidis and Miku Mwekaila. Jazla Senumem Deriso, calling on Miss Natalie Auguste.
Well, first of all, I'm not Miss Natalie Auguste. I'm Miss Lena Setage. Good afternoon, and as Mikud said, good morning. I don't know the time. Jazla Senumem. And when we say Jazla Senumem, coming from Deriso, Mikud South, Numem Senutut, and I expect all of you all to be there. I have noticed some regular faces. That's the third year we are having jazz. We are hosting jazz. Our lineup: John Kelly, reggae out of Jamaica. You will be there, I know for a fact. Our jazz, we are incorporating the arts as well. This year, we are going to make it bigger in the sense that we have one of our members that will be going out and making sure that we produce something better than that of last year. The reason why we have jazz in Deriso is because we realized that Deriso was a little dead. So we said, let's do something for our people. So we brought jazz, we brought everybody on board, and that is why we are having jazz in Deriso. Many people said, why Deriso? Why not Deriso? Come on. Why not Deriso? Our jazz, of course, on the 1st of May. Please mark that down. 1st of May, John Kelly out of Jamaica. Time, usually 3 o'clock. Oh, sorry, Junior Kelly, you can see I made a mistake. Junior Kelly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, once again, I thank you, and I hope to see you there. Deriso Jazz.
Jazz featuring Junior Kelly. Great reggae sensation, Junior Kelly. Out of Jamaica. What do you Junior tell you? Tony can tell you all about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that was Jazz Lasse Numem out of Deriso. Movement Sam, Jazz in the Park. We now call on Mr. Monty Maxwell.
I know how to handle that now. Greetings, folks. My name is Monty Maxwell, and I represent BF4 Movement Sam. And Welcome to our community. One of the best. Well, leave that alone, folks. Folks, our event is called Jazz in the Park, and you know what? It's happening right behind you. See a little park there? Take a little look there. This entire area is a historical site. So we have very, very unique qualities when it comes to our event. Backdrop, Maria Islands. Just behind the stage, the Atlantic Ocean and the longest stretch of white sand beach on St. Lucia, the longest stretch of coral reef, the longest stretch of, how you call it again? Seaweed. But it's not seaweed. No, it's not seaweed. It's, no, sargassum is a weed is an undesirable plant. We have the weed that is important for marine life. So folks, and right across there, Mula Chic, you know, check it out. We started up this thing because Laboe promotions were phasing out, and there was a dearth, a kind of need in the Vieux Fort community. So we formed a group. We engage in other things also, and it's been a few years since we're doing this, and we deliberately do not bring foreign artists here. And I'm quoting someone who may be present here now. He said one time, this may be the only place you hear some jazz. When I hear our jazz and so on, I cringe because I play a little bit of jazz, and jazz has become the substitute for concert, and it troubles me, you know. Anyway, folks, we start off with the school band. We have people like Mishak. We have, no, he is singing jazz, but we bring in a little bit of everything. In fact, our theme is eclectic. That is the only place you will hear reggae, you will hear soca. We have Sly as one of the main acts. We have a collaboration, the only place during this coming festival, you will hear a collaboration of blues artists. Carl Gustav and yours truly will be doing 1 hour of blues right here. You won't hear, complete with harmonica. You can't hear that not even on main stage. Take note, Mr. Chairman. Next year. So folks, we have a wonderful event here, and when the park is cleaned up and it looks really, really nice, so come down on the 3rd of May, which is a Saturday, and have a good time. Yeah, man. I don't know if I forget anything else.
Jazz committee for main stage, and he's the voice of reasoning. He's the voice of reasoning for main stage. You forgot that one. So all the acts that you see on the main stage, he's part of it too. He chose them too.
Thank you, Monty. As a Dominican living in St. Lucia, and I've lived here since 1994, I have a little habit, or had a little habit rather. I would schedule a Lou Day for the Friday, escape to Dominica, and come back on the Monday, which is typically a holiday. Well, a holiday in Dominica. And my former CEO caught on to me and she said, don't try that. I would escape to go to Creole Jazz in Dominica. But of course I cannot, because Super Jazz is on. So we're gonna call on Jade Brown, the PR manager, to tell us a little bit about the event and, of course, to receive the check. So, Jade, Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience, you have my full support. I will not be escaping.
Good day, everybody. Okay. Protocol having been established, I'd also like to recognize the presence of our chairman of the Soufre Events Management Organization, Mr. Methodius Klesse. The Soufre Events Management Organization is a small group of dedicated individuals who have given their time, resources, and expertise to revitalize the entertainment industry in Soufre. Born out of the Soufre Regional Development Foundation, which is the main financing agency for Soufre Jazz, SEMO over the past 3 years boldly reintroduced Soufre Jazz and Soufre Carnival to St. Lucia. For the people of Soufre, it was a needed inclusion on the annual calendar events there. Since its inception, Soufre Jazz has transcended its role as a mere event. It has grown into the cornerstone of our community, becoming a catalyst for positive change and development socially and economically. Soufre Jazz fosters a sense of unity and inclusivity, drawing people from all walks of life. We welcome all patrons to Soufre to immerse themselves into the local environment and encourage them to party with us, dine with us, and stay with us. For the ultimate experience from Friday, May 2nd to Sunday, May 4th. This way, we ensure that the people of Soufre are the main benefactors of the event. The small business sector, including small restaurants and bars, Airbnbs, taxi and tour operators, vendors at the local market, are all directly impacted by Soufre Jazz. Over 20 vendors will cater to the general admission crowd. What's more, all caterers to the event, leading up to and during the event, are sourced locally. This is just one example of how many people benefit from our event. We decided to coin Soufre Jazz the ultimate experience due to the event's unique offering in St. Lucia Jazz. It is a major event in a quaint town that offers a euphoric feeling that is unmatched. It is produced by the people who reside in the community and have a vested interest in community development. Now, the selection process for this year's experience was not easy. Our artist lineup for this year includes 9 acts, 4 bands, and 4 different genres of music. We have Sly, Arthur Ale, MTX Band, Rebuff 7, DYP, Farmer Nappy, Cohen Dubois, and our headline act, the incomparable Busy Signal. Our organization would not have the capacity to deliver an event of this caliber without the help of Corporate St. Lucia and, of course, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. You, our sponsors, have guided us, supported us with your knowledge, and you have also done so financially, and that is very welcome. Thank you. But SEMO and the SRDF would like to especially thank you. We appreciate you and all that you do. On behalf of the Soufre Events Management Organization and the SRDF, we want to welcome you all to Soufre on May 4th for the ultimate experience. Bring your friends, your family, your loved ones, anybody, your guests, and in turn, we look forward to supporting your community carnival. I say carnival, we all about carnival this time. Community jazz as well.
Time, come and have lunch if you're driving on the day. What have we done?
We're calling on the representative for Choiseul to tell us a little bit about the Choiseul Jazz Fiesta.
Choiseul is in the house. You didn't hear me. I don't think you heard me. Choiseul is in the house. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Philomena Lafay, representing Choiseul Jazz Fiesta. Choiseul Jazz Fiesta is going to be one of the events, one of the most exciting and unforgettable events of the year. Choiseul Jazz Fiesta, the ultimate blend of electrifying jazz vibes and party energy. Now we all know how amazing it feels to let loose and dance the night away and celebrate in style. That's why this year we're inviting everyone to the most fun, high energy event you can ever imagine. Picture this. It's going to be like a New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve celebration, but in May. And it's all about the music, the vibes, and the people. Let's make memories that will last a lifetime. So my dear people, mark your calendars and save the date. May 2nd at the Lafargue playing field in the beautiful community of Choiseul with Gros Piton in its backdrop. The show kicks off at 6 p.m. and trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this unforgettable night. It's our first year, and let me tell you, Choiseul Jazz, it's not just a concert. It's going to be a party experience like no other. We've got everything you need for an incredible time. That night, you'll be getting vibrant lights to set the mood, party accessories to make sure you're looking your best, and of course, some of the hottest DJs and live performances that will have you dancing non-stop. Speaking of performers, let me give you a sneak peek at the amazing artists who will be bringing the hit to the stage. First up, we have the incredible Arthur Allen. Get ready for some smooth soca vibes that will keep you grooving all night. Next, we've got the electrifying Shemi J, who is sure to bring the energy and fire to the stage. You can also look forward to the one and only Imran Nerdy, who's known for rocking the party with hot tracks such as Clock Out. We also have the very homegrown, talented Mishak, straight out of Choiseul, whose reggae rhythms will sweep you off your feet. We want to have Michael as well. Michael, a past student of mine, will be there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the night gets better with the iconic WCK Band. WCK Band will bring the Caribbean flavor with the infectious rhythms and incredible performance. We are still dialoguing with WCK anyhow. This is the party that you've been waiting for, my dear people, with music that will touch your soul and a vibe that will make you want to dance until the sun comes up, or at least 1 a.m. And with drinks and food, great company, and the best atmosphere in Choiseul. It's an event you cannot miss. Come along, my dear people, to taste our local punches. Come and taste our local spices. You cannot miss the CMOS, the men around. Listen to that. If you're ready to make this May 2nd the night to remember, join us for Choiseul Jazz. Whether you're coming for the live performances, the party vibe, or just to celebrate with friends, we're going to make it a night you'll never forget. Get your tickets, bring your friends, and let's make this a celebration like no other. I would like to thank the Ministry of Tourism for supporting us and all those other persons we've sent out sponsorship letters. I would like you all to help us to make Schwurzel Jazz the best. Schwurzel Jazz, let's party.
Tell everybody, Susan's having a party. So let me amend Kilo's statement for her. She's hoping to have WCK. she's waiting for the check. Once I check, she will meet Ian and finalize WCK. Thank you, Kilo. Is your check? Write the name on one.
Are you ready to party? Well, party. We're going to call on Miss Shelby Fede, who will represent for Ancillary Fish Fry Jazz.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shomika Fede, and I'm from the beautiful community of Ancillary. Ancillary. The Ancillary community is thrilled to announce the highly anticipated Ancillary Fish Fry Jazz, set to take place on the scenic Front Street on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. On this day, the entire community comes alive as we celebrate the perfect blend of food, music, and art, with the fish fry as the heart and anchor of the event, along with the warm hospitality that Ancillary is renowned for. Patrons can look forward to a culinary journey with mouth-watering seafood dishes that offer an authentic taste of our community. But it's not just about the food. It's also a celebration of music and art. From soothing coastal melodies to lively upbeat rhythms, the music will set the tone, filling the air with energy and rhythm. Local artists will also showcase their vibrant creations, adding another layer of cultural expression to the event. The festivities will run from 5 p.m. until 2 a.m., offering a mix of entertainment that will captivate all the senses, blending the best of our local and regional music and art scenes. So mark your calendars and join us for an evening filled with delicious food, amazing music, captivating arts, and the unique charm of the Ancillary community. Remember, it's all happening on Friday, May 2nd, 2025, starting at 5 p.m. Stay tuned for our updates on our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook at Ancillary Fish Fry. We can't wait to see you there. Thank you.
Representatives of the Jazz Sampler aren't here today, but we're going to call on Mr. Coyote Francois to receive that check for and on behalf of the ladies. The Jazz Sampler is taking place on the 3rd of May, and of course, featuring love and betrayal as their theme.
Some words,
Mr. Francois will just be here for the photo op. Please join him. We're going to ask Mr. Foswa to stay close with the check and invite all our other community partners to join us up here for a group shot.
Art and the City 2025. Come immerse the senses in an unforgettable artistic journey. On May 1st, we honor folk dance legend, the late Mrs. Teresa Hall, with the cultural icon Belle Creole Gala, a night of folk music, dance, and Creole couture. From May 2nd, experience life in color, an exquisite exhibition of fine art, photography, and sculpture. On May 5th, listen to Voices of the Underground, where raw poetry ignites the stage, featuring Sir Arthur Lewis Community College Word Up, George Fish Alphonse, Adrian Auger, Khadija Halliday, and the incomparable Stacey Ann Chin. On May 7th, Caliente Latin Beats sets jazz and arts on the square ablaze with Diana Phillip, Ashley Million, Amy Stevens, Green Mile, Barbara Cadet and friends, and from Venezuela, the electrifying Fort to Caracas. On May 8th, Folk Fusion reimagines tradition, featuring the RC Boys Street drummers, folk legend Augustin Charlie Julian, Michael Fletcher, and Phoebe Dovey. The evening crescendos with fantastic music, Genesis, Urban Drift by Ronald Boo Hinkson and Augustin Jab Duplessis. On May 9th, Nostalgic Friday takes us back. Jazz the Roots from Ecuador opens, followed by October 4, and then Gregory Piper and the festival band pay tribute to the St. Lucian party bands of yesteryear. Beyond the music, indulge in exquisite cuisine, mass movement performances, theater, and art installations. And finally, don't miss T-Tax at Lycée, the festival's craft and souvenir market on May 8th and 9th at the Rodney Bay Strip. Art and the City 2025. Feel the rhythm, see the art, live the culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, a word of gratitude from our head, our Director of Global Sales, I apologize, I'm changing his title. Our Director of Global Marketing, Dexter Purcell.
Just the helper. Thank you very much, Jareen, and let us all give Jareen and her team a round of applause for curating and executing such a wonderful community jazz launch in Vieux-Fort. So, in order for the checks to be approved, I ask of one thing from each community, is to share your content with us, with the marketing team at St. Lucia Tourism Authority, so that we can ensure that we tell that story and we feature the community on our websites, on our social media, and make sure that we are showcasing the real reason and the benefits of the community jazz to the world and to all audience within our receivership of our content. Can I have that commitment from you? And I want to hear it. It's like you sitting in the exit seat of the airline and you have to verbalize it. Can I get that commitment from you? All right. So we can now get ready for takeoff. First of all, I really want to acknowledge... No. Well, let's go there. It's with great pride that I am here as a student of Mola Sheikh, Campus A, Vieux-Fort Compre, and also Campus B over in Larry Shoes. So bringing the jazz to the community, and I think CEO made use of the word decentralizing. We really felt it was important to come to the community to support the efforts of the CTA in really showcasing our commitment to the community for Festival Marketing of St. Lucia. And it is along those lines that, based on the partners that we have and the service providers, in the manner in which the team presented those partners. So first we have to acknowledge our corporate partner, Wasco. The moment we call Zilta, she was more than willing to support us in that initiative. Let's give her a round of applause to Wasco, our corporate partner. And just to show the strength of the community, I will highlight some of the key attributes and the community they come from before we go into the personnel coming out of the community. So we have the violinist from Library. Let's give Library a round of applause. The live broadcast from GVD, from Mikud. We have the caterers from Vieux-Fort, stage and tents from Vieux-Fort, media professionals from Vieux-Fort. The decor is from Choiseul. the helpers and the moving hands from the Viewford community. The sound is also from Viewford South, and we have the screens from Ancillary. So a true testimony of the contribution that the community is making towards the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, and by extension, the community jazz. So in putting them in names, we have Mag's event, special events for tents from Black Bay Viewford, Cozier Frederick, Natural Sounds Bellevue, Fine Line Graphics, Phoenix Entertainment, GVD, Chanel's Catering, Charles Photos and Videos, Sam's Decor and Event Planner. And also, I want to acknowledge the contribution of the Ministry of Tourism towards the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival, the Events Company of St. Lucia, the CDF, and also the Community Tourism Agency. I'm not forgetting the team of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. Let's give them a hearty welcome. Hearty thank you for coordinating and ensuring that we executed this event. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to call this event to a close. We have ensured to have some catering for you, so please enjoy, and let's all work towards executing a fantastic community jazz. Good luck to all, and I like the enthusiastic in the way the community was expressing and selling the story to lure each and every one to the community. I thank you.
Step into luxury on April 30th at Mindu Phillip Park for the opening night of the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival. Enjoy priority access to an electrifying lineup featuring the all-star St. Lucian cast, American country superstar Gretchen Wilson, Sizzler, Lady Lava, and more. Then, on Kingdom Night, experience soul-stirring praise and worship at Pigeon Island National Landmark with performances by Tasha Cobbs, Maverick City, and more. With premium stage views, gourmet dining, and top-tier drinks. Unwind in our private lounge and embrace the magic of world-class entertainment. Opening night, US $150. Kingdom night, US $175. Limited spaces available. Visit stluciajazzandartsfestival.com to book now.